place, and so I'll send you a picture of it here in a second, but it just doesn't stay in place. So I just have the microphone like up, and I have nothing in front of it. So I don't know if that affects the sound much, or
I don't know. Sounds like you have.
They sound good to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Aaron.
I don't even know how to attach this anymore. It just kind of came off, so I gave up with it.
Fighting gravity.
Duct tape and popsicle sticks.
Well, I don't have any of those, unfortunately.
Well.
But that's okay.
It'll be all right. That's not super necessary. Just don't make super hard consonant. Let me try that sentence again. Don't make too many super hard consonant noises right next to the microphone, and you'll be fine.
Sibilant.
Stop it.
Sibilant.
No promises.
That's fair. That's okay. I've been saying the word continent all day, so I almost said that again. That's what. But that doesn't make sense. Don't make any super hard continent noise. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Did you see the news report that they found a continent underneath?
Oh yes. Europe.
Yeah, over under Europe.
Yeah. Was it the Aegean, under the Aegean Sea?
Aegean Sea. Yes.
Yeah.
Italian.
It's exciting. It's an ancient continent fragment from Pangaea. Most of it has been subducted underneath the European plate, but they found remnants of it in Italy and a little bit over, mostly Italy, I think is what I read in the article. But I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
He has the Greater Adria or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what they
named it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I told my kids, and they're like, okay, whatever. I was like, no, but it's awesome.
You
don't
like, understand.
Sure. Like, yeah, sure.
Look at all this dirt. Look at the soil.
Yeah, it's beautiful ancient soil. It's wonderful. It's good.
Yeah, like that's really not. It's really not cool.
No, some of them are into it. Some of them are like really into it. So good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I taught, I had to briefly go over like the different like rock layers and like sedimentary rocks and all that stuff. And
that's
like,
later.
All of my kids were like, "Do we really need to know about rocks?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, sort of. I mean, look at this rock.
Yes, it's great.
This one came from a volcano." And then they're like, "Cool." I'm like, "Aw."
Oh no, it's working slightly because I just had a kid come back from vacation at the Grand Canyon, and they definitely just brought me a big rock to put on my desk.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
From the middle of the desert. So yeah,
that's great.
I was like, look at these striations, and she was like, yeah,
like,
sure.
Please stop talking to me. Nerd.
Yes, it's known. Everybody knows this. It's fine.
I definitely remember I took a geology class at NEO, and the final, the teacher just had, just a typical lab classroom, and she had all of these, like, all the rocks, all the samples, like all over the place, and you're like to go around to different stations and have a number on them, and like, what is number 2? And you look at it and decide for what it is, and you write it down and you turn it in. And this kid next to me, or he was in front of me, there's 2 different rock samples, and I can't remember which ones they were, but one of them smelled like sulfur.
And
so maybe it was sulfur?
Probably. And then the other one, like, was not basalt, but you could lick it, and it doesn't contain any germs. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't have any bacteria on it, because it like kills the bacteria immediately.
I'm unfamiliar with this.
And I'll look it up. And so he picked up every single rock, sniffed it, and then like barely like licked each rock. And about halfway through, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, one of these you can lick. And I'm like, I don't think you can.
I know that you did. That is an official test for mineral identification.
Right. Mineral composition.
Because some of them are like salty.
Yep.
And so one of the because basically it's a yes/no checklist that you go through, right? So there's there's like, does it have this? Yes or no? Does it have this? Yes or no? Does it have this? Yes or no? And eventually, once you do all that, you can classify it and tell what it is. For minerals, one of them is definitely, does it taste salty?
Yes.
Because I told them at the beginning, we were talking about like the scientific method and like using your senses to observe. I was like, you don't usually use taste. And they went, wait, usually? What?
Well, on the beginner's guide to licking rocks from thebubble.org.uk, there is there.
I'm gonna say, is that in the Missouri Department of Conservation geology book? Is that what that is?
Turns out no.
Field guide to rocks.
They do have stages in identifying rocks. And one of those stages is the first lick. And
what?
And then another stage is lick, chew, swallow. So,
are you sure these aren't the stages of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't, I think, let me see here. Oh, there's an owl on this one. So
there it is. Does it stop at step number 3? Is that?
Oh no! It just says give him another one. Oh. Oh, this is bad. This is not a good website. Yeah. So these are the steps. So you have to hunt. You have to prepare the sample. You have to do the first lick.
Wait, there's nothing. There's no directions about hunting.
Well, I'm giving.
That's very vague.
Well, hunting. The first step is to find a suitable rock to lick. You can't just pick up any old rock and expect to get the same satisfaction out of it. A good place to begin with the hunt is Prebend's Bridge on the track leading up to the White Gate. I don't know where any of this is, but
well, I mean, yeah, but
you have to, and then you have to hunt for the rock, prepare the sample, first lick, optical analysis, lick, chew, swallow. Then you have an oral analysis.
The swallow part is worrying,
and then it ends in christening. This is just. Oh,
christening?
This is so disturbing.
You splash it with holy water. Gotcha.
I think so. I think you give it a Godfather. This is weird. Okay.
Does the author in the little thing? Does it say that they actually have pica? Is that what?
I don't know. He's from Daniel. Let me see. Daniel Craven. We'll go down this. No, he's only written one article, so I think it tells you a lot.
That's true. Also suffers from pica. Enjoys soap and sawdust as well as rock.
Okay. Anyway, backing out of that website. Okay. Where were we?
That's one of those ones that that you open in incognito window just because you don't want the ads and stuff to follow you and recommend you more of them.
Right.
That's really what that window's for. That's for okay, I want to read this one article or I want to watch this one thing on YouTube, but then I don't want the algorithm to give me 87,000 more of them.
Yeah.
It's got one.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what I do that on YouTube. Sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, that video looks too enticing. It looks so weird. I need to know what it is.
Clickbait.
It's usually like a BuzzFeed video or something weird like that. Or the worst one are those like the reaction videos, You're just like, okay, well, I like this song and I want to know what they say. I don't want to watch any more of this person's stuff.
Right.
I want to see this one thing because I want to know what they say about the thing that I like. So you're in the incognito window so that it doesn't recommend you. Because if you do that once on YouTube, you're done.
Oh my God. YouTube is so bad about that.
All of your recommended videos for the rest of your life are that. Like, no, I don't want that. The ads are the worst too, because I bought something before. Like I bought it. And then it just keeps showing me the same ads for the thing. Like, no, I bought it. I didn't even see any ads so I bought this new ring, right? Like a silicone one.
Oh my gosh. I was just about to bring this exact topic up of I am looking into silicone rings. And so
well, we can come back to that in a minute. I won't tell you the brand name yet, but I bought one. Like I was looking around and I bought one, and I didn't see there. I never saw an ad for a silicone ring before.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I was just like, oh yeah, one. I bought some before we went on vacation to Australia last summer. Not this summer, but last time. And because I was like, listen, I play with my ring too much. If I lose my actual wedding ring in Australia, Susan will kill me.
Yes.
It just will happen. I will be killed. And so I bought some of those like cheap ones from Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
And I definitely broke them. I bought like a bag of 4 and I broke all of them.
Oh my gosh.
So don't do that.
Okay.
Step 1.
Yeah.
But back to this before we go on to the topic, is that I never saw one ad. And now every video that I watch, the ad plays in front of it. I'm like, I already bought it. What are you doing?
I know. Oh, well, Amazon.
It was just like, yo, you want this? I'm like, no, yeah, I know I want it. I already bought it.
I already have it. Amazon is so bad about that too. It's like other people who bought deck lights also bought deck lights. And you're like,
of course they did that work. It's almost like they wanted deck lights.
It's just like, oh, so frustrating.
Yes.
Oh man. So yeah. No, I'm looking into those as well because hands.
Well, the ad tells me that CrossFit athletes wear them, so
yes.
Why you want one?
Turns out having a solid metal band around your finger really hurts when you're trying to do pull-ups and lift weights. So
I imagine.
But you'll have to send me what you ended up. You have to say right now, but you can.
Okay.
Whatever. Or unless you want to do the silicone ring review segment.
I mean, I've only had it for like a week, so I don't really know.
Okay, well, compared to the bag of other ones, seems to be doing.
That's true. Well. They're all broken.
Do you take it off and play with it, or you just like take your finger and like rub it?
Both. Yeah, I tend to do both. And so, like, my metal one is, it's enormous. I have enormous ring size, apparently.
Yes.
And so, like, it is, I do that with that one too, but it definitely falls, and it always just falls right between like the seat and the console in the car, like the magnet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm gonna buy one of these, but I'm gonna spend more than the $5 that I bought on Amazon because I don't want to break them again.
Yeah. I was looking at ones in the like the $20 to $30 range.
This one was 30.
Okay.
30 something. I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was it's pretty nice.
Okay.
So far, it's I bought it because, well, one reason I bought it was because it's not black, and so I was like, ooh, weird. It's supposed to be it's like mimics like wood grain or something. It's supposed to be. I don't know how effectively it does that, but it looks neat. So, and it's not just a black one, because a lot of people that work have them. It's just like a big, huge, fat black thing. You're like, that looks weird. I don't really know how I feel about it.
Well, and just the rubber ones, the black does look really weird. Is this Groove Life? Did you get the Groove Life one?
I did.
Okay, cool. Because that's on my list.
They will send you 80 emails after you buy it.
Oh, okay.
Be prepared for that. Not yet. I literally got 5. I don't know. Hold on. Where'd my phone go? Hold on. Wait a second. I'll tell you.
Brandon is going for his phone right now.
It's already charging over there, so I have to for it. But yeah, they decided they wanted to tell me. Here. So I got the traditional order confirmation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got your order is ready to ship. Traditional, right? And then I got another one that just tells me about like a thank you, a follow-up, I guess, a thank you email, I guess is what this is.
Okay.
And then I got one that wants me to introduce the people of Groove to me.
That's creepy.
Like all that. No, it's just like a, hey, this is what we're all about kind of thing.
Cool.
Which is neat, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, I didn't necessarily need that one, but it's fine. And then I got the delivered one.
Okay.
So like, yeah, this is
just soon you're gonna get like a Christmas card, and they're gonna want to come over for coffee one day.
Probably next week they're gonna send me one. Hey, how's it going? Like, fine.
Time to leave a review. Let me know.
I mean, it's good. I like it. It's nice, but I don't need that much customer service in my life. I understand like internet business.
A bit oppressive. Yeah.
Well, yeah, internet business, like customer service is like a thing, right? Because you don't see anybody. Customer service is like a big deal, right? So some internet company at it, ones you're like, what? You exist? I forgot you existed. So I understand what you're doing, but
yeah,
I need that many emails, man. Come on, I don't.
Especially over the course of such a short period of time, Yeah. It's just like.
But I do. The other reason I like it is because it's very thin. It's not like super like fat in a like thickness, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the wall thickness is not very big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that cool groove inside, so it feels you can roll it around your finger. It's supposed to be so water doesn't settle under it, but you can also play with it. Just saying.
It's another fidget.
It's another tactile experience for me when I can't sit still.
Congratulations, you hyperactivity.
It's fine. And when you accidentally drop it on the floor, it doesn't make a horrendously loud clanging noise like my big metal ring does.
Yeah, I was playing with mine at my desk the other day, and I stood up while I was trying to put it on, and it fell. So it fell from my standing height down to my desk and made this just terrible clattering. And my coworker came in and was like, "Everything okay in there?" I was like, "Yeah, I just dropped my ring. It's fine. It's fine."
Yeah, I understand.
20-pound ring.
It feels like that. So yeah, it does feel also when you put it on, you'll be like, "Whoa, my hand is so light." Because my ring size is 13. Yeah. So my metal one is like, it literally feels like 1,000,000 pounds. Not 1,000,000, but it's very heavy.
Yeah. I was gonna say mine is like 8.
Is it really?
It's yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Brayden, your ring finger is the size of my thumb. Okay.
You're welcome. Wow. I realize that.
For those of you listening out there, the reason I'm not talking because I don't have a ring because I'm alone.
You could get one too. You could just wear it around.
No, because then I'll just fiddle with it. It's like that's why I don't wear watches anymore, because I just sit there and play with it.
Well, I don't wear watches anymore because you literally don't need to wear a watch.
Yeah, the phone.
Yeah.
But no, Mimi used to get mad at me because the only reason I wore watches because Mimi bought me watches, so I felt obligated to wear them. But yeah, I'd sit there and I'd play with the clasp the whole time.
Exactly, you'll sit and fiddle with it. That is 100% what I am doing this exact second. I don't see the problem.
What else are you supposed to do with the watch? Tell time? I don't think so.
Yeah, you literally. That's one of those pieces of technology that it's very just not necessary. Like it's been phased out of existence. You don't need one. You don't need it. It's not. You don't need just a watch.
Yeah, I don't.
Like an accessory. If you want to wear one, that's perfectly acceptable and fine. Mm-hmm. It's not necessary.
Same thing when I went through a necklace phase in high school. I was like, I can wear like those athletic baseball necklaces, but I'd sit there and play with that clasp or chew on it the whole time.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Again, why I don't wear it because I went through a similar necklace phase in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They have those chain necklaces.
Everybody does. Yeah, everybody has phases in high school.
Puka shells.
I didn't go through that one. That's coming back.
Be real. I know. I saw there was a.
Why do you think Colin's talking about it? Because he wants.
Oh, Colin,
guys!
Colin's a disco girl. Got it.
Just want you to know. Starting a puka shell company for necklaces. We're doing the whole thing. Doing bracelets, doing rings, doing circlets.
Puka shell rings? Did you say?
Yes.
What was it called? Like was it hemp rope where we had like that kit and we would have to like
yes,
not spin.
Is
that what it was?
I don't think it was rope. like twine.
Yeah.
Baling twine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you
basically, it was basically hemp twine. But yes, that was a thing. That was a very big fad.
Yeah, because I had one with a dolphin on it, and I thought it was a bad A.
Because everybody had one, and it was bad A.
It was
until it stopped becoming bad A, and nobody had them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But interestingly, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to remember. I totally remember making those on plane rides on family vacations.
Yeah,
you put on the little keyring loop. You could hook it through there and put it on your toe, and you could sit there and
put it on a little tray table. You put it on a little tray table thing.
Yeah,
click it in there.
Yep, and just move along. Man, we were so cool. Obviously,
I mean, who? But interestingly, the same braiding technique is what they use when they make the like pearl bracelet thing, like the paracord bracelet.
Oh yeah.
It's still marginally a fad. That's the same braid, man. It's that same macrame braid from the 70s, but it's
no, it's
still there. It's just the material has changed. It's fine. So you could still do it, Aaron. You could still bust out your hemp necklace. But if puka shells are coming back, that's only a matter of literally minutes before that.
We'd have to make a trip down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and see what they got for us.
That's true.
No, I remember going to that little shop in Springfield, kind of by St. John's.
Yeah, it sold only beads.
Yeah, it's only beads.
that legitimately. I don't remember if you remember this, Aaron, but it was over there.
I vaguely remember going somewhere, and then just like I can't remember if it was like you guys or mom, but there'd be like a whole like one of those big clear containers.
Yeah,
like full of them.
Yeah, it was it was tables of that.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. Yeah, and you could put them in brown bags, all right, for payment. I forget.
I don't remember, but yes, it was But they predominantly, I'm sure they sold other things. I don't know, but I remember it was a bead store. Talk about something you cannot find easily in 2019. A brick and mortar store that almost exclusively sells beads.
Yes.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. It was a niche market then. Like, my goodness. There's probably a thriving online community of bead stores. I don't know what they would be, but it probably has moved to the online space like everything else. But yeah, I remember going in there and buying physical beads from those. Yeah, Aaron's right. Those little plastic tubs, but they were enormous because it covered the whole table, and there was multiple tables.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. Granted, it wasn't a large store.
No, I remember it being
a
really
little
small.
tiny. It's still there. I don't know what it is now.
Right.
But that building still exists. I could probably find it. But yeah, it sold beads. And like little bauble things. Because in the middle, you always had the bauble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or some larger bead, maybe.
Or the dolphin.
Or the dolphin, yeah. I had one that had like, I don't remember. Like I literally don't know. Maybe a ram, I don't know, a goat, maybe. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember it was on mine either. But
I had a dolphin. You can buy a 752 piece lava beads kit, lava stone rock beads, chakra beads, spacer beads, and 2 rolls for $17 on Amazon.
There you go.
Wow.
The beauty of this was though that you could buy like one bead.
Yeah. You could just walk in and say, I need an bead.
Well, because when you were doing your pattern, right, you only needed 2, really. Because that was kind of the style. You had the middle thing.
Yeah.
And you had
okay.
You had a bead space. It's some space, I don't remember, one to each side. And that was kind of that was the fashion. Well, there was some that had a few more, but not like a lot. So you really only needed like 2 to 4.
Right. To
make your thing. So like you didn't need, and you wanted variety, right? Because you were making them and wearing them. You didn't want them to all have the same beads on them. That would be silly. So you needed like you need a whole different variety of like 2 beads, like a pair.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense, I guess, in a weird way. The store had that, but But thinking back now, that's just a really weird story.
Yeah, I mean, like we sell beads, and yeah, then you think, okay, well, I'm going to need 300 or whatever, you're just rattled off there. But it's like, no, they made their income, what, 10 cents at a time with each bead they sold, or if they were metal, maybe $1. It's like,
I didn't buy any metal ones because the wooden ones or the ceramic ones are cooler looking. So yeah, bought those ones obviously. But yeah, the little I don't know what that technical term is, so I'm gonna stick with bauble. Those are a little more, but still, yeah. You bought the rope for twine. Sorry, for like a huge thing of it for like no money, and then a couple beads in there. You're in business. You need. It's just a really weird thing. Now I'm thinking about it out loud.
It definitely would.
Middle school was so weird. I don't even know.
yeah. Take the entire concept. Imagine you're sitting down in front of a bank trying to get a business loan. No, track with me here. Okay.
No bead. I'm 100% sure that this store sold other things. Oh, because you would have to. Sure. But I don't remember what any of those were because I didn't buy them. I was only buying the beads. I had a necklace thing, right? Yeah, we had a book. Do you remember the book? I don't know. I guess we bought it there, maybe like the braid pattern.
book. Oh my gosh, yeah, it would have had to. I mean, I don't know where else.
I don't know where else you would. Yeah, I don't know where else you buy that.
But I don't know.
Not the internet. Not in 1996. You didn't. I know that.
No. Man. Yeah. Or I guess probably Barnes and Noble or.
Maybe, but probably that store. I bet it was that store.
It probably was.
I almost can guarantee you it was in there. I wonder if surely we still have that somewhere.
I don't know why.
I wonder if it still exists. That'd be really fun to find. But yeah, we bought that in there. There was a whole bunch of like braid. I guess it's a braid lid patterns. I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which I only made 3 ever because the other ones were like master level loomsmen. Like I don't know who was making those. Like what?
Yeah,
what sort of macrame not wizardry that was, but I did 3 of them.
Yeah, I probably only did 1 because yeah. Well, no, there was like the standard kind of just the. Ones that you could use for friendship bracelets. I know I would do that one a lot.
No, I didn't mean to say that I executed those 3 well.
Sure. Well,
I'm going to back that up and just make sure that's clear.
Yeah. No, but I do remember there was the one I really liked was the spiral, making it do the you could do the knots in such a way that you'd offset them every other one to make the spiral around.
Yes. Very tricky because mine always looked good for one, and then like there would be a section of like, ugh, and then it would continue again.
Straight line, kind of spiral.
The straight one was much easier because it was easier to like keep. I mean, in line. Right? The spiral one was tricky because it would go, and then like I always had a section somewhere that was like, oh, what has happened? This has gone wrong.
No, that was the consistency was always really hard.
Yes,
mostly because my attention span was 0. So,
I mean, what are you talking about?
So anyway, my attention span is 0. It's not funny. It's really bad.
No, I'm right there with you. It's 100% fine. I'm not judging.
Yeah, that's just just those weird things. You think back and you're like, where did that start? Where did that start getting incorporated in our day-to-day activities? I don't know, just kind of like.
Well, it's just like everything else, right? Your friends do it, and then you're like, oh, I must do that as well because my friends are doing it, and so I also have to do that because that's definitely. That's your anyway. When this was happening, it was definitely like middle, and so that is 100% the middle school mentality of my friends are doing this, I must also do this.
Oh, isn't that? Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think back to middle school. I try not to ever think back to middle school, but on my when I can't keep the demon dogs at bay for much longer, that's what I just think of middle school and
you go, never mind, it's fine. Well, that's like the kids that I have, right? They're in 6th grade now, so they're right at that kind of the start of where our middle school was,
right?
And so sometimes I'm like, why were you do? Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah. I get it. You forget, you're like, why are you doing that? Why are you? And now that the trends are all like bizarre because they're from very strange internet places that I don't know about.
My favorite thing to do is every now and then I'll pull up on Twitter and I'll go to their news section of like things you missed on Twitter. And I don't recognize most of the names or words or concepts on that page true. At all these days. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an old man. And then I close out. And it's like, it's just,
oh no,
just
it's
crazy.
True. Yeah, the kids aren't on Twitter anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I know that, but it just on Snapchat or whatever.
That's true.
Or TikTok
TikTok is the thing.
That's
where they are.
Megan downloaded. I haven't felt this old in a very long time. Megan downloaded TikTok the other day.
Oh my gosh!
But why?
It's like, well,
trying to be.
Well, yeah, and she was listening to this like kind of like businessy podcast that was like, oh, the next big thing is TikTok. So,
oh, that's true, man. The kids are all about it.
You need to be on there and know how to do it. So, I so felt like just two old people laying in bed at night. It was like 9 o'clock as she's downloading TikTok, and we're like, huh? What? Where do you swipe? Whoa, it won't go away. Why is it doing this? Where do I have that? Things were just like popping up, and we could not make heads or tails of it at all.
It's very strange.
It made no sense to us.
I don't understand it either. But again, I don't social media at all. So like,
well, yeah,
TikTok, what? Get out. I don't even know. The kids are doing it. They always talk about it. They do. It's kind of like, you remember Vine?
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's almost identical to Vine.
It's got a very Vine-esque quality.
But it has apparently more features, so people can put like different kind of filters and stuff like on that. Because my students felt like they needed to sit down and teach me about like new things because I wasn't quote unquote hip enough. And like they're trying to tell me about all these new like online challenges, and I just couldn't express how much I didn't care.
Oh yeah.
But from my understanding, from my thesis paper that I wrote on this, it's basically like Vine, but their words cooler, and it has more features on it.
Well, that's not a dead media, and longer too. Yeah. I believe.
Yeah, I just we were trying to find out, like we were trying to follow topics or figure out where we would go to, and it doesn't work like that. And so I was like, well, I don't.
No, it doesn't work that way. It's basically like, I don't know, it just like shows you stuff, and then there's just like videos and I don't know, people dancing, and I don't really know much beyond that. Aaron has apparently been more schooled than I have, but there's not like
just by barely.
Well, listen, I have like zero. I have a kid showed on it one time, and I was like, that doesn't look like schoolwork. And then they went away. So I was but yeah, it doesn't seem to be that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, and we were like, well, how do I not see something? Because I couldn't.
No, you see everything.
Yeah. It was like, we couldn't select.
It's like a barrage of stimulus.
It was so terrible.
It's very strange.
I didn't like it.
Well, it's just not like, it's very like fast paced. Again, for an 11-year-old brain that constantly is craving stimulus, it's exactly what you need, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
I did tell my kids the other day, we had to go to the nurse for something. We had to go to the hallway and do some other stuff, and like it was head check day. That's what it was. And I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go down there. Yeah, for lice, they just randomly screen for that.
I thought you just like making sure you still got something on your shoulders. Okay.
Some of them it's, but
anyway, sorry.
Anyway, we were doing down there. I was like, okay, well, we're just gonna go down there. We have to sit in the hallway, and you just have to sit. I was like, it'll be fine. Being bored's good for you. And they were like, what? How? I understand. What do you mean? I was like, yeah, it's good for you. Your brain needs some rest.
Yeah.
You gotta filter through all that stuff and process some things. Sitting is good for you. And they were like, well, I don't believe you. You're a liar.
But it is. That's when the brain it's most creative when it's bored.
Yeah.
And because your brain is I must be doing something right now. When you're not getting external stuff, it's like,
it'll come up with its own stuff.
My own things to think about. Yeah.
Not looking at TikTok for what other people are doing. That's not interesting.
Well, my
school, I see the same thing as we discussed, so I can't judge too harshly because I definitely did that.
Totally. Well, and my 4-year-old will walk up to me and go, "I'm bored, Dad," and I'm like, "What? Nah. Good. Go to the other room and you be bored. You be bored.
Contemplate the universe." Like,
oh.
But yeah, I think it's weird though that like it's very strangely broadened like the trends that kids try to emulate, because like before, again, because I'm old, that you only ever saw like what your friends are doing, and so it's like, oh, I'll do that thing that my like 2 friends are doing, not a big thing. So you didn't really have like the options, like what you couldn't there was only like so many things that ways that you could try to fit in, right? In a way it was like easier because there were like 4 categories of person in middle school, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not that one or that one. Here we go. I'll take this one. Now it's like immense because there's so much external stimuli coming from like TikTok or Snapchat or wherever to follow all these random stuff. The type of person that there is exceedingly broad, but also that means that there's these people that are bouncing around so much they don't know where to go. They don't really know what to do. They don't really like any of these, but their friends are doing them, and so they're like, well, they're trying to fit it, and it's a very strange thing to just look at sometimes. Like at recess, especially, just to sit down and stare at, like, watch them. This is weird. Sociologically and stuff, it's very bizarre.
Yeah, because you think about it, when we were in school, and I mean, that really wasn't that long ago, but it was kind of long ago.
No, we'll go with the first one. It wasn't that long ago. It's fine.
I mean, for as long as we've been alive, it wasn't.
I outed myself already talking about like 96, so I'm toast. It was way a long time ago.
You're bad.
It was a long time ago, man.
Yeah, but there was there were categories of kids. There were the jocks. There were the nerds. There were
that was it. There's not too many more. I don't really remember.
You may have had the kind of the punk, the meh kind of crowd, but really, and then you had the the homecoming king and queen popular group. It's just like
that's true. Well, but preppy was like a big thing in the 90s.
But now you're right. You can be following trends from across the globe and go, I want to emulate that person that I saw on TikTok for 13 seconds. And you become that person. And it's like, where, what? I guess,
Kids will still have their groups or their cliques that they'll be in. And I saw that on the playground a lot, that even though kids were still kind of doing the same thing, they still had that status of, oh, well, he's not doing it as good as I am.
And well, so there's that too.
That kids, even at 5th graders, start to develop, and so hopefully that they'll kind of break out of it. But
well, you can hope. But I mean, most people do. They kind of fall into their own thing later. But there's just so many really bizarre things, and like I can't remember what it's called. But they watch a video. More just like the strange like Japanese fashion, right? Like the
anime style.
Yeah, but there's a name for it. I have to Google this in a second. Thinking.
The Korean
K-pop.
K-pop.
Well, K-pop too. So that's one. So like K-pop fashion, I definitely have kids that are into that because I see the BTS and the Blackpink shirts hanging out. You know? And I commented on it the other day. I was like, oh yeah, because we're doing geography, and I was like, oh yeah, home of Blackpink, and like 3 of the girls were like, what? And like some of the other girls were like, the rest of the class was going, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, you don't know Blackpink? Come on. Talk.
Good. Yeah, way to go. Good job. Good.
Trying to get my in there. But
no, and there are times where I'm like, is that, were those, how delayed? Well, obviously, I mean, this is going to be a little weird, but that progression of technology, so, and the broadening of those trends globally that you can be exposed to, but then there's the speed at which they change.
Yes, very fast.
The speed at which you get feedback from those, while when you didn't have that exposure, it took a long time to figure out what was or wasn't going to work for you as a kid.
Yes.
I think back to my middle school and my mock turtleneck bowl cut wearing days.
Indeed.
That lasted probably a bit too long, but
it's fine. It's fine. In the 90s, it was cool. Cool in the 90s.
I don't know if that was
the word I was looking for in the Japanese fashion is Lolita. That's what I was looking for. Lolita fashion.
Lolita fashion.
Not the book by Vladimir Nabokov. Not that one.
Lolita fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. But there's that, and there's all the, like, some of them have seen that. And that's something that you would not be able to see a long time ago. You couldn't, even if it did exist, you couldn't find it because it wasn't there.
Yeah, how would you?
Yeah. Write a letter to your Japanese pen pal.
Right. And hope for a picture. Or
a picture.
What?
Or the new thing is like the Visco girl thing. Very strange. I don't really understand this, but it's a thing. Okay. I don't know.
I think that came from college sorority girl culture, and it kind of has like a trickle down effect.
It's trickled down through picture sharing, like social media, like Instagram stuff.
And because like college girls started that, big t-shirt wearing athletic shorts, like
sandals.
And sandals and stuff like that, and carrying on a backpack and a water bottle and having, 50,000 scrunchies on their arm. And then high school kids saw that, and then it just kind of went down from there.
I'd say that's a fair assessment. I could believe that.
Because I noticed that before, when I was still at Oklahoma State, and that was a very popular style with like every single sorority that was there. And then it just made my, distaste for Greek life that more unbearable. And they always traveled in packs, and they always kind of sounded like, oh my gosh. And so,
well, it's what you do in college. You don't travel anymore.
It's not safe. Don't travel alone. Why would you do that?
That was me all the time. What are you talking about?
Every time we went anywhere, we were always like, there was at least 7 of us going someplace when I was in college. Minimum. That was it. It was great.
Yeah, my last 2 years kind of sucked because everyone had graduated and moved out. It was just me.
That's true. Problem.
So just like,
that does make it hard.
I'm going to go hang out with my friends. Oh, wait, they're all working or not here.
Yeah.
But no, I was able to, my childhood psychology class, which I was the only male in, by the way.
Interesting.
Almost 90% of the girls that were in that class were a part of a sorority. So I always showed up either early or on time, and then everyone would come in as their sorority group. All of them had their Starbucks, because it was an 8 o'clock class in the morning. And so everyone would be late, including the teacher
now.
who still had to go. It's like, guys, I'm so sorry, I'm late. I had to go get my Starbucks. Of course, I'm sitting there miserable because I'm early. I was like, I just want to get down to class.
I don't know. That's one of those things where I'm still punk rock enough to be like, yo, the coffee in my house is way cheaper. I don't even care. Like, I'm not about that life. So that's I still have that edge to be sometimes like, why? I can spend my money on so many other things. Like, not that.
I did bring up the point and ask the girl how much her Starbucks coffee was, and I think she said somewhere about like $12. And I was like, I can get like 4 breakfasts like that at McDonald's or something.
Oh yeah,
for that same price. And
you can get all the food for that. So yeah, that's where my little saltiness comes out. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh, I was all the salty, sir.
I mean, I don't express it. I only tell it to my friends now. But I'm like, yeah, I know.
My mentality during this class, we had what is it called? Is it a doula? For like, if someone wants to have like a home birth, for a child.
Okay. I was very confused about where you're going with this.
Me too.
And so, all of the girls were asking that, like, her, like, all of these questions, like all of these moderately sensibly but yet annoying questions.
Was this like a all the time thing, or is this just a one specific example?
So this is one specific example.
Okay.
She didn't come in randomly.
Okay, I thought you meant like she came in all the time, and it's like, what? You were in the wrong class, dude. That's why you were so weird.
That's why you were so.
That's why you were so creeped out. You were in like some sort of nursing class,
part of education. So I was like, I could take this class. And on the first day, the girl after girl came in. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. But all these girls were asking questions like, and she was talking about like water birthing.
Yes.
And at the home,
that exists.
I know. And so she was talking about water birthing, and they're like, all these girls were asking these questions, and me just being frustrated, I made the comment. I was like, well, do you have to keep the water at room temperature like a fish? And I just felt all of the eyes on me, and I just went back to taking notes. That was my mentality in this class. And I was like, so does the baby have to be like, when it, does the water have to be room temperature like a fish when you put it in a new tank, or what are we doing here? And she was not happy with it. I thought it was a beautiful question.
Well, I don't think it was probably the question. I'm imagining it might have had something to do with the tone of voice in which you asked her.
Let's be real here.
Yeah, right.
Was it like the fish? Excuse me. The eye roll probably didn't help either.
A little hair flip that I did afterwards.
As you sipped from your caramel macchiato.
Yeah, I got a great grade in that class, but I hated it because it was just always that. So when you're talking to a child in class, and I was just banging my head on the table, like, why? But I was like, I have to do this for an education. I'm learning. I shake visibly in anger. But yeah, it was a fun class. I learned so much.
Well, it sounds like you had a ball. Mm-hmm. You really, really soaked it up. Loved it.
Oh, all the soaking. But, yeah.
I don't think I ever took that. I don't recall.
You're not missing that. Adolescent psychology.
I took normal psychology.
I took that too. I also took sociology.
I don't seem to remember.
I took an adolescent psychology, which I actually started to like do like the process to do for a master's, and then they were like, "No, we cut the program." I'm like, well, fiddle. That class was early childhood development.
Oh,
so from birth all the way up to like when they go into like middle school. Yeah. Sorry. But I took an adolescent psychology class where we talked about
might be a bit long. Usually early childhood is birth to 4
or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
That might be what it is.
And then there's another one that goes up to, they usually have them split down.
Yeah, that must have been like adolescence.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Because I took an adolescent psychology class, and we talked about like the online culture that kids are being involved with now. Yeah. And does that promote, and like we talked about like video games and child development, and that class I learned a lot, and I actually use that class to what I do now.
Oh, true. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, so dealing with a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, that early childhood class, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's easy.
No, yeah, early childhood wasn't for me.
And I'm happy, so I'll stay and get the credit.
No.
If you asked me 2 semesters before that why I took a speech class at 7:30 in the morning,
at the terrible time.
That's a whole different story.
So
Aaron,
terrible. Why did you take a speech class at 7:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
You can't just leave it hanging there. I have to know.
Aaron.
Hello.
Aaron.
Hello.
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 Okay.
Sorry, what?
Moving on.
Okay.
Anyway.
He is going to leave us hanging there. All right.
The sound kicked off for a second. I was kind of freaking out. Okay.
I thought it was my internet again. I was like, no. But you're back. That's good. You haven't sounded like you're in a bucket, so we're doing well. Just cut this part. It's fine.
I was gonna say. I think. Well, we either cut this part or we
just make wild about why he had 7:30 in the morning. Then don't tell him what our answers were.
Tell the story anyway. Yeah, make up our story. So
perfect.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me text him and see.
What has happened to you?
We may just we need to. Yo. Oh, he left. Okay, he ended the call. He ended his side.
Is he coming back?
Good question. I don't know.
If it like shut off weird on him, he might be trying to restart it.
So the interview with that lady was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was definitely underprepared.
Uh-oh.
Well, because she's if you looked at her website, she wrote a book a while ago.
That's true. So
she's done lots of interviews and things like that before, and I have officially done 2.
Yeah,
this was my second one today.
Yeah,
interviewing somebody, and so I was trying to. It's a lot more work than just sitting down and having a conversation, especially if I'm trying to get to particular talking points.
Well, yeah,
and so it's like really having to pay attention because the last thing I want to do is like them telling a story that answers question number 4, and then
that's true, and you're like, oh no,
yeah. Yeah, and then me
can't ask that question anymore.
Right, I don't want to do that and throw them off. So, but, I was taking notes and following and trying to follow along, and she was really good and very nice. And I think I'm going to try and do at least 2 more with her on a couple different topics.
Okay, well, so she didn't like you. Gosh, what are you doing?
Right. Well, I mean, it's. She didn't say that out loud. I'm sure she may have thought about that a couple times of like, amateur or whatever. But, it's part of it. I know is she's got a book she wants to hawk and get out there. So, and Megan's and my podcast is literally right in the vein of where she wants to be and in her market as well. So there's a lot of crossover here. And if she can sell 4 more books by, being on some piddly little podcast, I'm sure she'll do it. So, but she's a truly international house sitter. So she goes over.
Wild.
Yeah. So she ran for office in California, like, and she was she did campaigns and stuff for like 30 years, and then was like, that's enough, and then just left it all. And now for the past 10 years, she's just traveled the globe, going places.
Sounds way better than teaching. Let's do that.
House sitting, being like, oh, sure, I'll go over to Saigon, or I'll go over to France. Or, yeah, she's going to be over. Where's she going to be this Christmas? Oh, she told me, and I completely forgot. But yeah, somewhere over like in Korea. She's just going to be there for Christmas, because what she's finding is
probably South Korea. I'm just guessing.
Her market, yeah. Well, yeah.
And not a lot of international house sitters going to North Korea.
No, but right at the end, she did say that, because I asked her. So I said, after 10 years of doing this, one of the questions I asked her was, how has the market changed over time? And then my follow-up question to that was, so what's your long-term plan given the changes that you've seen, and where do you want to be in another 10 years? And
good follow-up question.
I know, I'm getting
Take
there.
that, NBC.
And so what she said was, what happened was, is that she's noticed that there's been an immense growth in the industry overall, but especially in what were underdeveloped countries and are developing.
That's because that's the market that's growing, because it has room for growth. That's how economics work.
So there were two aspects of this. Is one, when she started, most of her clients were coming from Europe, North America, and China. But because those are just big and have more affluent people.
Yes.
But
still China, probably.
There's been a growth in those markets, because there are other, as one affluent person uses a house sitter, their friends will also want to use a house sitter as they become aware and more comfortable with that concept. What she's also knowing is this huge burgeoning middle class of in the developing countries and developing areas.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go on vacations too. And they want to do this stuff. And so what she's actually finding is she'll go into areas, and groups of teachers who want to go on holiday together will pool their resources to hire a house sitter or two to watch all their houses at the same time while they're
going to bounce around all day.
Yeah. And so she's like, her biggest efforts right now are trying to get into these school systems effectively, is to get one person that likes her, and then that person tells their friends.
Can recommend.
And so that's where she's seeing a ton of growth, is in these areas where this middle class is really exploding.
Hell yeah. You have to go together because you don't have enough money to do it by yourself.
Right. Well, and she doesn't care because she gets over these crazy places. I can't even pronounce this. I don't remember this place, but it was some weird island in Europe that she was on. Iceland, maybe?
No, I'm just
kidding. No, it's a smaller. It's just some weird small island place
in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, and the
like
house,
off Spain, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
what's that called? There's one off Spain. Let me
Google.
Come back.
Move this along. The client brought her on and was gone for 6 weeks, and connected Kelly with their entire group of friends. And so she was plopped down and basically had a really nice house, a pre-made social life, and tour guides. And so for 6 weeks, she just sat at a house and went on all sorts of crazy adventures, and like whale diving and all these stuff. It was just like
whale diving. Oh, that's probably not in the Mediterranean, maybe. Oh, no.
She said it was a French island.
Like in the South Pacific, or was it like?
No, it was like
just Corsica. Like French Polynesia, or really just Corsica right there?
No, I'm pretty sure it was. No, it wasn't French Guiana.
That is definitely just a country in South America. That is not.
No, it's an island.
It's not an island. Now, if you're thinking the movie Escape from Devil's Island,
yes, which we are always on. No, she was on. It was like Saint Martin and Saint Barth, or somewhere over in that area. So kind of on the northern coast of France. I think it was like Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Yeah, Saint Pierre and Miquelon was the one that she was on.
Okay.
And so she was, I don't know if it was whale diving or whatever, but she was
tiny thingy.
Yeah, but she was house sitting on that for 6 weeks. And I'm
that is very
what?
interesting.
What? So yeah, I was like, that's insane.
That's pretty insane.
So yeah, she was
I'd like to go house sit internationally. Hey.
Right? And so
that would be great.
And so what she does is I didn't ask her this because I didn't. Yeah, I should have. But like, she writes in blogs on the side. So I think she gets income from that. And then
like you do,
she does charge for these things. But like, yeah, it's just crazy. And so, yeah, and that's all she does. She just travels, does that. So
I mean, what else could you do if you're traveling? If you're going to be in like Auckland 1 week. And then, like, 2 weeks later, you're in
no joke
Switzerland. Like, what the heck?
Let me see if I can pull this. Her schedule this week alone was like, yeah, she's like in LA right now.
Yeah,
which is why we were able to talk. And then she's going to go to Mexico, and then she's flying back over to Europe the week after that. And like,
I was gonna say, because LA to Mexico is like feet away. Isn't that
yes.
You shouldn't all the time from Angeles to Mexico. Like,
yep.
That's 90 miles. What are you talking about?
I think I'm trying to figure out because she was like, she's had a crazy schedule because she's over in France. She's over in London right now. Oh, she was in London last week, and then she's in LA this week, and then for 2 weeks, and then she's over down in Mexico after that.
That's nuts. The part that's giving me the most anxiety about all of this is the fact that I cannot successfully sleep on an airplane.
Yeah.
So like all that flying is just like, no.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I mean, she probably doesn't fly in the back like I have to, but
I don't know.
She might. I'm not sure. But yeah, to fly that much, and I can't sleep on the plane, man. That flight to Australia, I thought I was going to die, just because I was sitting in the seat for like 16 hours, and I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I mean that's too much. That's too much.
It was dark. It was really weird because we were flying the direction that you're flying for like the whole 16 hours. It was nighttime, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It was really strange. Like it just like because you're flying into the sun, just going that way, and it's just like still dark. Oh nope, still dark some more. The way that the shadows, because that way you just keep turning away from the sun more. Right, so you're
You're
just like, nope, still night. You're just flying into the darkness.
Yeah.
And so, just flying forever, and it's like, chair is awful. I mean, it's nice, it's fine. It's like I've sat in way worse airline chairs than Qantas is, but still, in this little tiny chair for 16 hours. Oh my God.
No.
It was worth it once we landed, but the flight was so.
No, that's not. I can't imagine.
It's because I can't even sleep in a car. Like airplanes are just right out for me. It's so bad.